Hi again. Oh my goodness, that got moved. So I found a mouse, or I found a battery for my mouse. So this shouldn't move anymore. This should kind of stay pretty steady from now on. But welcome back. I know it's been a couple of days. Sundays are my days off normally, so I just took Sunday off because we had company over and it was insane and I was exhausted and I just fell asleep as soon as everyone else left. Then I didn't realize, but yesterday was the inauguration day, so I spent most of my time watching everything going on just to see. I like to know what's going on. I'm not one of those people that can have my head in the sand or just go about life pretending things don't exist. I wish I could. But I'm way too flittery, I would call it. I flit from one thing to the next, and it's one of those things that keeps my attention, or that grabs my attention, and then I go off to the next thing. So, yeah, yesterday was a pretty long day, surprisingly, but it was cool. I think that was the first time I'd actually seen an inauguration. So it was interesting. It's probably something I'm going to be watching every 4 years, but that's okay. It's only every 4 years, so it's not going to really affect everything else. And yeah, I've been watching the news on what's been going on within the first not even 24 hours. So, or it's been 24 hours at this point, but yeah. And then I didn't stream on Saturday, but I did draw and I uploaded what that I had done some obtuse angles. That was again because of company, and it just didn't make sense for me to go on for 15-20 to stream for 15-20 minutes absolutely while I was silent because I was exhausted. I'm exhausted today, so I'm going to be babbling and I'm not going to make much sense. Sorry about that. But so I started drawing lesson 4. We're going to go into lesson 5 today, but I did want to read lesson 4 and lesson 5 and then start drawing with lesson 5. And then I think that kind of wraps up everything. This is going to be a more long form. I don't know if we're going to actually get to the 2 hours because I did start later than I was expecting, and there's a couple of things piling up that I need to get to before dinner, so I am gonna just have to see what goes on with that one. So yeah, I am still tired, so I don't know how well the conversation's gonna go and how on track I'm gonna be, but I'm gonna try. Let's start with reading lesson 4. So I taped this down, so I might just draw an angle before drawing an obtuse angle before going on to lesson 5, which I don't know what lesson 5 is yet. But we're finishing up our angles. We did acute angles. We've been drawing right angles, but the right angles have kind of been helping us get our obtuse and acute angle. And so I'm just gonna read the lesson 4 explanation of an obtuse angle and then go on to lesson 5 after having shown how lesson 4 works. All right, lesson 4. An obtuse angle, oh, you need to be able to see this. Let's take this down. So this is the angle. This is the angle CAB. The angle, the point that's at the actual point of the angle is always in the middle because that's saying that's the point of the angle. Normally it goes left to right with naming conventions. This is just what I remember from math. So if we were doing the right angle, it would be CDA. Because this is making the right triangle. If the A wasn't here, it would be CDB. So that's kind of the naming convention. He doesn't go into that, but I thought that I'm not sure if anyone knows that. So these are the points. This is what it looks like when you're actually supposed to be reading it. So we're going to go on, start by reading that. An obtuse angle, like CAB, must be measured differently than what we were doing in lesson 3. Fix on the points A, B, and draw the line. extend it to the left as far as D, and from D, draw the perpendicular DC. Now, from what I remember with the other lessons, you always go from top to bottom, so you just make your points and then you do the line. Having fixed the point C at its required height from D, draw the line CA. And the obtuse angle you have thus obtained will be like the one here given, this picture. That is, if the distances from A to D and from D to C have been accurately measured, meaning I'm following these measurements here and I've accurately copied them, your eye only must be made the judge. Mechanical measures have been accurately measured. Your eye only must be made the judge. Mechanical measures such as strips of paper or compasses should not be used except to prove how far your eye has been accurate. Or an obtuse angle may be measured by the method shown. In the following lesson, which we're not there yet. So, how I am to draw the obtuse angle for lesson 4, and what I was doing on the paper below this one is I made my points. I'm going to do a smaller one just so I have more room to do lesson 5. So I'm making my line AB. So you make that line, make sure it's nice and straight. Then I'm going to extend to D. So just a little bit further out because I don't want to make this too big of a... Okay. And then you make sure that the dots are accurate, make the straight line, then you make the point for C, make sure it's where that needs to be, and then you make the line, and then you connect the line from CA, and there you have your obtuse angle. I did not do that proportion. Oh, you didn't see any of that. Well, that's great. I'm sorry about that. But basically, I'll just show it. So, make your dot for the line AB. Make your horizontal line. Make sure it's straight. Then you go out to D. Make sure that line's straight. Next, you make your point C. Connect the vertical line. Connect the oblique line CA, and then you've got your obtuse angle. A, B, C, and D. And that's basically how you're supposed to draw obtuse angles using the method in lesson 4. And now we're going to go on to lesson 5. Like I said, I haven't seen this lesson yet, so let's see what we're doing. Oh, it looks like what's going to happen is, so here you can see there's an acute angle, a right angle, and an obtuse angle. Oh, here's another right angle. So it looks like it's practicing getting all three angles in one drawing. All right, let's see what lesson 5 has to show us. Oops, I'm not being very careful with the book where I'm putting things. Mostly because it's gotten cramped again on this desk. But for very good reasons. Here, we've got that because I've got the mouse back, and then I've got all my resources that we're using. So it's working clutter. It's not clutter, but still making it a little bit cramped. Let's begin lesson 5. Draw the line GFE. Okay, so it looks like you're drawing the line GE. Fix on the point F and set up from it a perpendicular equal to HF. Then fix on a point for I. It looks like the I is going to be right above E, about the same height as H. Then fix on a point for I, which must be level with H, and of the required distance from it, draw I, F, and the obtuse angle required, IFG, is obtained. This mode equally obtains the acute angle, IFG, IFG. This mode equally obtains the acute angle, IFE. In examining what you have done, you will see that when lines have to be copied, which form acute or obtuse angles, they can only be copied accurately by comparison with a right angle, and that, to judge correctly of the obliquity of any lines, you must compare them with perpendicular horizontal lines, these being the standards of comparison. As all rectilinear objects composed of straight lines perpetually present to the eye angles of every variety, acute or obtuse, it is of great importance that you should be ready with some mechanical means of ascertaining and of accurately imitating the obliquity of lines. This power, when completely acquired, will render the following lessons comparatively easy to you. Indeed, without some such preparations, they would be with great difficulty practicable at all. Hence, these are most important lessons, and such as you will have constant occasion to practice and apply. To enable you to become adroit in measuring such angles, it is of great consequence that you always draw the lines in the order and in the manner directed. I cannot too much urge your attention to this. Any attempt to do them otherwise, or to copy the examples regardless of the instructions accompanying them, is only wasting your time. In so doing, you will make no more progress in art than if you were sleeping. In fact, merely copying the examples by the eye without reference to the written instructions is putting your mind to sleep, whereas my object is to keep it awake and active. I have, in the next 2 following lessons, supplied other examples for measuring angles. Okay, so it looks like we're going into the different ways of, making angles, and then we're going to be going to squares. And then it looks like we're going to be making some 2-dimensional buildings. So we're getting there. We're moving on, slowly but surely. It's pretty cool though. I like getting this foundational knowledge. I think I've stated that multiple times, but it's really cool. I like how it's building on itself. All right, the word I did not know that I did not get the definition of is adroit. ADROIT. So I'm going to look that up real quick so we have that definition and we kind of know what he's telling us. Clever or skillful in using the hands or mind. Okay, to enable you to become adroit in measuring such angles, it is of great consequence that you always draw the lines in the order and in the manner directed. So in order to become clever or skillful in measuring such angles with our hand and mind. I learned a new word. How do you pronounce it? Let's see. Okay, I'm going to pause my... I don't know if this is going to... I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear the pronunciation. Adroit. That is how you say it. Okay, cool. Alright, let's get back to what we were doing. So, this is another way of making angles. I am going to have to go just for a minute. I just need to see something real quick. I'll be right back. I want to put up that. Alright, and then I think... Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I wasn't expecting that to take so long. Jeez. Okay, now... we are going to draw what we saw of lesson 6. So, it's very similar to this drawing up here. Except it's gonna go, it's coming from this direction now. I really need to sharpen the pencil. Well, I'll just see what I can do with not having a sharpener ready to go right now. Okay, so I'm gonna draw the line GFE with just GE, and then I'm gonna put the point F. So make G E. Nope, they're not equal at all. I just bring this dot up a bit more. And then I'm making the line GE. Awesome. We're gonna put the line F. It looks like F is right in the middle. So we're gonna make the dot F. G and E. Now, right above F is H, and it looks like H is kind of short. So we're going to put H right here, directly above F. Okay, and draw a straight vertical line. Excellent. And then put the point I, which he doesn't have it directly over E, but I don't see a reason why I can't. It's supposed to, okay. So it's supposed to be like, what would this line look like with this certain slope at the height of H? So let's do, I'm just going to make the dot to start with, I think. We'll do the dot. That should be right here. I think if we were to do, oh, it's got to be a little bit lower. Alright, somewhere around there. Okay, that's going to be I. Now, what I need to do is connect IF. Now get IF, and then, well, so this isn't supposed to be a real line, I guess, but you can use it to show that it is where it needs to be. And then you want to draw should be more like this. There we go, much better. And that is how you come up with all the different angles you need. Oh man, that is a mental exercise right there, I'll tell you. Sorry, I am drinking water. It's really, really dry, and I am really thirsty. And like I said, tired. I'm falling asleep doing this. I have like his objective, right, is to keep you awake and active in your mind, not asleep. And because of how much energy I'm using to try and do this, I'm like, I'm falling asleep now. Whew. Starting the copy of the proportion of the human figure is going to go great today. I can already tell. It's going to go awesome. I'm not exactly sure what kind of paper I should be using for those sketches. Because anyways, we'll get there when we get there. Let's finish doing this. Okay. So I want to make the line GE. Alright, so I've made the horizontal straight line GE. I'm going to mark the points. I want F to be roughly in the middle. Oh, it's not the perfect middle. That one. That's better. I like that. Where that point is. Alright, so then this is F. Then directly above F, I want to make I or H. Make the line HF. Okay, from there, same height, a little bit over. I want to make my point for the oblique line I, and this needs to be horizontal. So this is kind of more of a light line to make sure. So I needs to be a little bit further down here. Is it gradual slope? Close together. Okay, that's going to be kind of a little bit out. Perfect. It would be fun. I don't know. Do you like, because I'm an adult now, right? I'm trying to think back to when I was learning geometry and shapes and stuff. Would this have been a fun way to teach angles, right? By doing the foundational drawing and like tying it into like proportional architectural drawing. Like, would that get people's interest a little bit more? Would it give it kind of like a more solid foundation? Or even just tie it into drawing, not even architectural, just drawing in general. Okay. Yeah, so we're just gonna. I'm like, okay, let's go to lesson 6. No, we're gonna stick with lesson 5, do it a couple more times, and then go to the um, practical applications in lessons in classical drawing. Cool. Let's make this a straight line, please. Oh, it would help if my elbow was out. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, see, much straighter line. Jeez. Okay. Then at the same height. You want our oblique point. Which that's pretty good. Not bad. Now you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm too far down the page. Oh, I didn't leave. That is wrong. There we go. All right. Focus. Focus. Nice. Thank you for focusing. There we go. There we go. Okay. This is H. Now, at the height of H, we want to make I. There we go. I think I finally got it. Yeah, okay. Not completely straight, but I'm also getting towards the end of the page, so it's just a little more difficult. Alright, there we go. Now we've got our right angles, our obtuse angle, and our two acute angles. Oh no! Okay. So we have our right angles, our obtuse angle, and then two acute angles. And I'm running out of space, so I think this is as far as we're going to go in terms of the lesson. And then we will move on to the copy, starting the copy sketch. So let's switch out books. And I think, and bring out the sketchbook. I think we're going to have the sketchbook. That's what we'll draw in. Actually, I should be using the tracing paper first because that's what they say. I'll show you what I mean. I forgot about that. So let's grab. Uh-oh. Why is it all crinkled? Jeez. Oh, that's annoying. So we're just going to go with, I think, the tracing because that's going to take a lot longer than you would think. Okay, that's going to go over there. And then this is going to sit here. We'll still doing the preparations. Okay. So this is the Lessons in Classical Drawing by Julia Aristides. She is also the author of the Classical Drawing Atelier, which is what I've been getting, like where I've been getting like kind of the history and stuff. Forget what page I'm on. No, not what page. I'm on a chapter. I think I'm on chapter 3, yeah. So this is the book where, oh my gosh, I let a couple of people take a look at the drawings and all this food gets everywhere. So we're doing these, yeah, so this is where I'm getting like the history of everything. And then I think she says there was a couple of different sphere drawing masters. So that she's got some practical applications once you get through there. But her companion book to this is the Lessons in Classical Drawing, which is where we're going to be doing the practical exercises. This is where we're going to get the practical exercises from. So the first part, so this is the master copy sketch. This is what we're going to be starting with. So the first part is getting the image, setting it up, and tracing what she calls the action lines. Find the major gesture and line directions. An example would be seen on pages 24 and 25, and that's what we're basically going to be starting with. So this is what we're using the tracing paper for. So we're getting what is the action line. With the proportion of man, this is literally going to be the action line, and then, or what did she call it? She didn't call it the action line, but it is the action line. It's the, so it's getting the scale of the drawing, the action line, and then the major gesture. So this one that she's doing is of a man running. So she's got, this would be the what's on the tracing paper. From that, you set up your drawing paper, I guess, and you then recopy. You recopy those. Take these lines, put it onto that, and then you start actually sketching, essentially. So we're doing, I just want to make sure. The orientation of the sculpture and corresponds with the central weight line. Plumb line to see where the lines would fall. So see, they go into what the importance of the lines is. It's like if there's only one line, like if we were taking this, if there's only one line, what would it be? A straight vertical line, essentially. Here. But then you would have your movement lines, I think is what she calls them. Yeah, it's just to figure out, okay, where are you going to start on the page? Are you going to start in the middle? Or are you going to start on the side? It looks like this one would probably off to the side. I think that's where she ends up putting it. No, she puts it in the middle. Okay. But that's why. So the reason why I'm tracing is to make sure I'm putting the line on the side of the paper where it's supposed to be, because I can't just look at it yet and figure that one out, obviously. Okay, the line of action establishes the theme of the work. The simplest angles and arcs account for the majority of the action. Beginning with a dominant line direction can create clarity of a single voice and unify the piece. So you add additional lines that repeat the original angle and echo the first sentiment. The drawing becomes more reinforced and strengthened. They add the additional lines will add emphasis, focus, and rhythm. So that's what we're starting with today. Just getting that down. I might. Yeah, I think I am. I'm still gonna use the brown pen. So I just want to get. I thought it was right here. I don't know where the sharpener is. I found it. Okay. I am gonna actually sharpen it. I know they say not to use the pencil sharpener and to use a free standing razor, but I don't have that, and I also don't want to. And I think I can actually, yeah. Oops, that's fine. There we go. I might have broken it. Yeah, I did. Shoot. Well, that's fun. Of course it broke. Let's see if I can get that done really quickly now. Okay, there we go. Let's clean all this up and then let's get started on the drawing. So I want to have the book right here with the tracing paper over. I'm not sure how it's going to work with a book since I didn't want to go out and get a photocopy of the paper since the only thing I'm actually going to be tracing is just those first few lines. So I might regret that decision, but let's see. Tracing paper. I grabbed it and I put it somewhere. No, it's, oh, here it is. No, it's not lost. Okay. That's really cool. Let me get a little scrap piece. Let's put it on here real quick just to dull up the sharp point. That's unnecessary. There we go. Nice. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you. Alright, let's get on that. So, what's interesting, right, is we have a couple of different elements here. And I don't know how important these elements are. Because what he does is he has the circle, right? And I have a feeling that's kind of where he, and then he has a box, and then he has the figure. So if I were to be drawing, if I was going to copy this, I think in its entirety, what I would do is I would have, I think this be the straight line, right? Have your line here and here, it's kind of the center. Then what I would want to do is I'd want to have Would I want to do it this way? Probably not. I'd probably want these lines, right? Kind of indicate how far away, like, the scope of the actual image. It needs to all be the same height. I actually need to erase that. Let's get this back where it needs to be. Right in the middle. Just get these lines right. So I want this height. But I want it to make this right here. Actually, I'm going to move these over just a little bit. It would help if I was drawing this line. I was supposed to be drawing the line. There we go. Same for over here now. It would help if I did have the artist tape so then it wouldn't move, but that's fine. Then, would I want to mark? I think I'd want to mark the box, right? Maybe I just want to literally trace this line right here. Let's make it easy. We're doing this on tracing paper for a reason. Whoops. Not that. That was not a line. The head, the feet, which is interesting because it's right at the box, so that's pretty cool. And what do we want to mark? The shoulders, because the shoulders don't go anywhere. Kind of want to mark where the leg starts. Yeah, he has that line actually. Oh, he proportioned it. There's lines right here proportioning everything. There's a line right here. Okay. these are the proportion lines. Interesting. So that doesn't look like a line, a proportional line. Looks like he's just sketching. Now that's interesting. I think I'm gonna want to do that again because it's not. Here, I'll show you. Let me get some white paper to put it behind. So it's not very straight lines, so I want to go back, and I think it would have been easier if I could put artist tape on there, so I might just have to get back to doing that. But here is kind of, this would be where the square box is. This would be the height of the circle and the width of the circle. This would be the width of, or this would be the diameter of the circle. This would be the length and width of the square. This would be the wrists, the forearms, the shoulders, head, torso, the end of the torso, and then where the knees are. So but it's not as straight, and that the detriment was definitely not having the artist tape. So I might have to actually blow it up. And this paper definitely needs to be the same size. That's what I'm getting out of this. So let's see. I'm just trying to think. Should I erase and use the same paper, or should I get a different paper? Because there's only 100 sheets. Let's get another piece of paper. Let's just do it. I wonder if I had it. No, if I had it this way with the book, it wouldn't work. But this would definitely be like a little bit better height-wise. I think those are definitely the lines she's talking about when it comes to sketching out, tracing the lines. At least that's kind of what I'm figuring. Alright, let's move this out of here. Let's try that again. There we go. Yeah. It doesn't move. I don't know if that's going to help, but we'll see. Alright. So what I want to do is do the center line. For that, I'm going to, so like same as what we've been doing with the Harding lessons. Your point, make sure they line up, and the vertical straight, it's going to be a straight line. I'm going to move the books out of here so my elbow doesn't keep hitting them. Much better. Then I'm going to make 3 more vertical lines, but I want them to be the height of the square. Hold on. Right, because then I'm just going to trace the square edges. Okay, yes, I just want these to be the height of the square, but I want them, oh no, I had these as the height of the circle. I'm wondering, do I want this as a vertical or a horizontal line, because it's just showing the diameter of the circle. And there's a square. I want it at the height of the square on the outsides of there as vertical lines, because then I can do this, then this frees up the square lines, and the proportion lines. Okay. It's too far out. There we go. Okay, now I want to do the square lines. And then do his proportion lines. Cool. Alright, let's see how that looks. That one makes a little bit more sense to me than this one. Yeah, this also has the straighter lines. They're a little bit straighter. These are cleaner though. Alright. Pretty fun. I don't know if you guys find it fun, but it's interesting to me. I'm sorry if the conversation was lacking today. Like I said, this weekend was just insanely busy, and then stuff popped up that I wasn't expecting to pop up, like the inauguration. So, tomorrow should be a little bit better, a little less chaotic, and a little more structured. So that is all the time we have for today. Thanks everyone so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow. We will be doing lesson 6 from Harding's Lessons on Drawing, and then we will I'll either decide that we should do another line sketch before moving on, or we're going to move on to start getting a couple the other step she has in her practical application. So we'll just see where tomorrow leads. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day, and until next time.